And to my right, we have
Hakim Gillard. I'm a third-degree black belt, father, husband, just a good dude trying to do good things.
Hey, I like that. You see how he came in, introduced himself, let y'all know exactly what he is. Got the black belt going on, so that means he do not play.
So that means don't try to start no stuff talking about the Clarissa Shields stuff. I don't want to get knocked out. All right.
And we also have in the background, out of the mud, we have
George F. Grundy II from Out of the Mud Incorporated.
Yep.
And we want to give a shout out to Fli CityBlackout and
Flint
Flint
After
After
Dark.
All right. And a shout out to my business partner, James Mayfield.
All right, let's get it. We about to hop straight into this thing. Talking to my brother, the black belt to the right. Don't come down here playing around because he ain't gonna play with y'all. So one of the topics off jump, we got straight into the Diddy situation. He's just a hot topic, right? It's a lot been going on with him. He's in a lot of mess. We know that he's a business mogul. So when that comes into it, and you in the limelight of so many things, one mistake can set off a situation that'll be the catalyst to a whole bunch of problems. That'll lose a lot of money. That'll cause you to have to go into hiding.
Especially when you black.
No, real talk though. And that's crazy though, because we know we're always talked about more than our counterparts, right? Go ahead. I thought you were saying about something.
They feed us our own, and we have no problem devouring our own.
Woo.
More so than, on the lighter end of the spectrum.
Yeah. Right. Now there was something that was said, right? So, even for a second, it seemed like it was dying down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? And then out of nowhere, what happened?
A video came up out of nowhere.
A video come up out of nowhere.
Almost 10 years.
Man, that's the thing that I want to get into is, why do you think that is? Why do you think that, soon as it was just lightening up just a little bit, they come out with this video?
Well, I don't want to come right off and say it was a distraction. That'll be seen as a deflection, but it was a distraction from all the major issues we got going on in the world right now. We got protests all around the world. People protesting Israel and the genocide they're doing to the Palestinian people.
Yep, you're right.
And we got, even with Dr. Fauci, the information coming out now about the vaccines,
right? All
the side effects and how he was involved with the process that created the COVID virus in the first place.
Yeah.
So we got all these things coming out, but yet again, they got us entertained with entertainers going. Don't get me wrong. If Diddy did what he did, then he should be found guilty in court.
Right.
But not in the streets. See, in this country is you guilty until proven innocent.
You're right. I've been down that road a few times.
Yeah, man. We all have, man.
Yeah, I had to fight for my innocence when it's supposed to be the other way around. You gotta fight to get found guilty, but like what you said, we get fed our own. And that's the thing about it, why do we got a taste for black meat?
Oof.
Why is it that we have a taste for black meat?
We love soul food, don't we? Don't we love soul food?
Man.
But that's how they, and people like to say that slavery don't have nothing to do with it. It's you can't go through generations and generations, all that trauma they put us through, and think it don't have an effect on us today. It certainly does,
right? Because
we never really got a break from it. We never really got a break when we got out of slavery. We still were going through,
right?
Like the stuff that's going on in Gaza right now. They bombing cities over there. Remember, they bombed Philadelphia at one point.
Yeah,
this happened on American soil.
Yep.
So to think that what's happening there can't happen here, you'd be crazy to think that. So we've never really gotten a break as black people in this country. So to think that what happened then is still not affecting us is crazy to think that.
Right.
That's why it kind of goes into the mental health and the trauma, why the relationships, all those things tie in together, like we talked about.
So when you were saying you were referring to Black Wall Street, right? So when we look at that,
Black Wall Street was in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
In Philadelphia too, they
was
bombed.
the MOVE movement.
What was that?
MOVE.
Yep. The MOVE movement. Okay, well, good. Correct me then. All right. So when we look at it, it seems like every time we're doing something unified, right? Whether it is the Black Wall Street or the MOVE movement, you notice that there's always some pushback in a deadly way. right? And now it's taught to where our counterparts don't have to do it because we are fed our own. And it's like if we're taught to, we're taught to self-destruct.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, stop me if I'm going too far, if I'm too far left. But it does seem like okay, we're getting more and more programmed to hey, let's not let them do it. Let's do it ourselves.
Now we can't. It's not the 50s and the 60s and 70s. Now we can't just say that the white man is the enemy now because now we doing it to ourselves.
Yes. Yep.
So it's a reason why we are how we are. We was taught a certain way, but now what do? It's accountability on us now. Make a change now.
Right.
But also understanding why we got how we are.
Yeah.
And have a little bit more grace for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And wouldn't you think that okay, this is going into this other topic of morally sick, right? So people it don't seem like they have morals anymore. Like they don't care.
This country really never did have morals. It was never built on morals.
So if that's the case, and then it trickles down, then what are we fighting for at this point?
We fighting for what they sold us as the idea of the American dream. It wasn't our dream. It was their dream of America. And their dream of it was, nigga, you work. and nigga, I own everything. But, the ones at the bottom eventually rise to the top. Yeah. Eventually will come up out of this. But, it's going to take some work. Right. It's going to take some healing. And like I said, we can't do nothing alone. We have to do everything together. Yeah. More unity. And speaking of that, though, we do have the Unity March that'll be taking place. What is that? It's going to be June 22nd, 2024. Time is going to be 10:30 a.m. That's the gathering. 11:30 a.m. That's the actual Unity March. 1:30 p.m. That's the Community Expo. The location is going to be Ballinger Park, Flint, Michigan, y'all. Save the date. 23rd Annual Unity March Against Violence and Community Expo. We also have the Squash the Beef Before the Grief. That's June 1st, y'all. I am present for peace. I am present for peace. I like that. That's the Higher Quality of Life Ministry. That's 5601 North Saginaw Street, Flint, Michigan, 48505. All right, and we have another one here. That's Silence the Violence Walk. See, we got all of this stuff going on. Why? If you really care about changing things, you care about your representation, the way that people look, our people. Somebody that looks just like you. Why not come and represent peace? Why not represent unity, love, man, tranquility? Don't that sound nice? Oh, yeah. So then it's the Silence the Violence Walk. Wear orange or a memorial shirt. Saturday, May 25th. So that's coming up, y'all. That's coming up quick. That's the Memorial Day weekend press conference at 1 p.m. City Hall lawn, Flint. Downtown walk, 1:30 p.m. from City Hall back lot to U of M parking lot, Saginaw Street. Guest speakers will be speaking after walk at U of M parking lot. Y'all need to come through for real. If I can make it to all of these, I definitely am. And I suggest everybody, y'all see me there. I'll say that. If I ain't present, then I'm lying. I'm somewhere doing something that, else that's going to be. Hey, we ain't going to say nothing. But look, though, this is going to be for gun prevention and awareness, though, because that's how we losing a lot of our youth is through guns. So silence the walk violence, squash the beef before the grief, and also the Unity March. We got all of these, and if think about all of these, we got 3 different walks, 3 different things. What does that tell you? That means it's progress. That's progress. Right there. But also, too, after that, we got to keep doing it. We got to keep progressing. Right. We got to keep going. We got to keep the ball rolling. We can't stop. We can't. And I want to challenge everybody with that has strong morals, that love people because they are people, because it's a life. If you care about your brother, your sisters, get up and do something about it.
And I challenge everybody to come to at least one of these. If I can't make it to all three, at least come to one. One of them. We challenging y'all to do greater things, greater than these. What do you think about diversity and movement? Like people that try to help us from different backgrounds, that's trying to help black folks. Do you think we got enough of that?
I believe so. Because it's not just gonna take black people or just white people or Indian people. It's gonna take all of us. Because right now it's not just it's not about black or white anymore.
Right.
It's about rich or poor.
Yeah.
It's about the people that have the power,
right,
and the people that don't have any. And you see all these governments now. All these people are turning against them now in all these other countries.
Yeah.
You know. And
hold up, I know it's serious and stuff, but when you were saying what you're saying, it just reminded me of the Machiavelli album. It's not about black or white, not about east or west. It's about which side are you on?
And that's what, and you know what kind of straightened that out was the pandemic. The pandemic took away the middle class.
Yeah.
So now either you rich or you poor. And I'm poor. I ain't rich.
Think about how, people forget how many people that we lost.
Right.
It almost seems we lost cities of people. If we group them all together, we lost cities.
Yeah.
Cities of people where they didn't even know where to bury these folks.
Yep.
Where the cremation, man, dude, that's like, I wouldn't doubt if some of the people that we done lost, ashes, are scattered out there right now that they're using to build.
They about to repeat the whole thing all over again with this new pandemic.
Man.
With this bird flu that they coming out with.
He said that they coming out.
And they going to push a vaccine telling you to take it.
Oh, my goodness.
Ain't that something? They make the virus and then make the cure for it.
Woo-wee. What was crazy is they already had the cure before the virus went out.
That's some pimp game right there.
Man. That be that stuff that we started having people to think like, wait a minute.
That's a real drug dealer right there. You mean to tell me I'm making the dope and then I'm making the way for you to fix it. I'm making money on both ends?
Oh, man. That's crazy.
That's like a drug dealer that got a rehab facility.
Right.
Come on, man.
Man, constantly. Man. So, listen, let's switch gears here. What do you think about black representation? And what do you think about, what's the first thing that come to your mind when you think about black representation?
Well, let's just talk about representation. That go back to what I said about in these other countries. Even here, people turn against their government because they're not being represented by the people that they put in office.
Yeah.
We put people in office, supposedly, that's supposed to have the best interest for the people, but they get in there, and of course, money come into play, and then, certain people that run organizations and run the world,
right.
People are afraid to lose their lives, so we understand it. But at the same time, you have a responsibility to the people that put you in office.
Right.
And now we in the time now, if you're not going to get in office and do something for the people, you don't do it because you might lose your life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm promoting that, but I'm just telling people like the time we living in, people are taking this stuff serious. They have no problem losing their life in the course of taking somebody else's life or going to jail, spending their life in jail. You seen what they did at the Capitol.
Oh, yeah, man.
White people climbing all over the Capitol.
I ain't never seen nothing like that before, but you know what?
If we did that, man, we wouldn't even make it to the gate.
Oh, my goodness. What is it? Pellet guns and all type of bean bags, and
we wouldn't even make it to DC.
It would. I know, George, you got something to say.
Yeah, a few things, but I'm trying to. I've been wanting to listen, seeing where the energy of everything going.
Yeah.
So first off, the conversation we're having is something that needs to happen.
Yeah.
The ability to have it as freely as we're having it is something that needs to be accepted based on our Constitution. But all the shit that's being talked about right now is the type of stuff that gets people canceled, gets people cut off, gets people stamped as anti this, that, and the third, and we're just having a conversation. So I'm of the belief that we have a First Amendment to be able to speak, as long as we're not talking about people's lives and taking them away from them or trying to put them in a box to where they are put in a situation to be harmed and hurt or lose the ability to feed themselves. Then we have that right constitutionally. So I'm standing on that. Other part of it is Diddy.
Yeah.
I most definitely agree with you, as he's been put out there to be a distraction and to cause us to look at the surface of things.
Yeah.
Even though his crimes and the things that we are being seen allegedly are very serious.
Yeah.
So as serious as they are, how much more serious are the things that we're being distracted from?
Right.
Right.
And then why are we, as our community, mostly the ones that are being distracted from it? What's the fear of black folk or so-called black folks being informed about the things that they're trying to distract us from? Going to the other part of when it comes down to trying to think of it, when it comes to the levels of it and the judgment, it's not fairly judged, because when it comes to what's going on allegedly with Diddy, where's the person who taught him how to do it?
Right.
Because he wasn't always a billionaire. He didn't get in the door just because he had talent or he had the knowledge. Somebody let him in. People let him say, hey, come on in this room and we're going to teach you what you have to do. Now, first, if you really want to make it, you got to grab your ankles.
Sell your soul.
What do you mean by grab my ankles? Just grab your ankles and just take that. You know, And the other part I want you to know is you can't stop, won't stop. Like we learned that stuff from somewhere.
Hey, that's deep though, right there.
So now you transition that off into a whole culture of people because you know you had an ear and a mind and all this other stuff.
Right.
And where's his mentors? Where are the people that said, look, just don't tell nobody what's going on here and you'll be all right?
Yeah. And see the thing with that last part, what you said with mentors. Everybody had mentors.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you was in the streets, you know somebody in the streets that had something. They knew a pastor or somebody like that trying to tell them right or their mama, but they still doing what they gonna do. So a person still gonna do what they gonna do.
Exactly. They just got a choice.
Yeah, they got a choice.
After you talk to them,
they got a choice. And I wanted to touch on what you said too about what are the benefits of them putting this in front of our face versus telling us what's really going on.
Right.
Y'all ever seen The Matrix? You can't control people if they wake up.
Yeah. So some people don't want to.
If everybody wake up right now, then the game board flips over now. If we stand up, then so that they can't have that. It's the reason why they come after people like Malcolm X, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They come at the ones that stand up and tell people, hey, you don't have to do that. You can do this over here. You can free think. Like what he said, it's okay to be a free thinker.
Yeah.
They don't want you free thinking now.
Oh, yeah, because you're going to think a little bit too much.
Yeah. Then you're going to figure something out.
And then you're going to start questioning things. Questioning things that you haven't questioned before. And that becomes a problem. So now we're going to put what you should think about. Everybody get mad at Diddy. Yep. And if you didn't get mad at that, morally, somewhere in there, just apply that to yourself. Because honestly, what does Diddy have to do with us? He got that situation going on, and it's already being handled. However they're going to handle it. But what does that have to do here?
The legal structure is going to deal with him. But if we don't look and pay attention to what's going on, the legal structure is going to deal with the world indirectly. Because what you were saying with dealing with the jab, dealing with the what's going on in the conflict and in the land, those things affect global issues. So we were stuck in the house for a couple years, pretty much, for something that we still hear, and it didn't do the way that they said it was going to do. But the after effect of what the antidotes are doing is causing more health issues than what it was causing at the time.
Right.
And we had to look at what they did too. They made people lose their jobs. They made people, like, they made the military get it.
Well, you got to think about, too, the businesses went down, though, too. There's a lot of people that lost their business, was doing good, and crumbled.
All this is allegedly, too. This is all
allegedly. Yeah. But, yeah, they tried to, well, I ain't going to say try. They forced people to get the jab. And then they made people that didn't want it seem like they were crazy because they had a choice.
Yeah.
So they don't want you to have a choice in this country. You do have a choice. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do A or B. You can do C or D. You know, for real. That's really what it came down to. And now we're seeing, And it's not that people that didn't take the vaccine, we didn't want to be right about the vaccine being bad for people.
Yeah.
But you got to look at this government.
Right.
Like, they created this thing, and then they gave us a cure for it, and they're saying you got to take this. You got to take this. So, and even people that took it still getting sick.
So and that is a lot of that's true. But citizens or sovereigns or people that are in the position of putting people in position, we have to take a lot of the blame because we put these knuckleheads in there to tell us what we were going to do with our lives.
Yeah.
And so since we had the power to put them there, we are not taking the authority to take them out of those positions by proper steps. Because I'm saying if you don't, if you allow me to be in position to lead you somewhere, but then you like, where are we going? And I ain't telling you where we going. Just you trust me, right? Yeah, I trust you, but where are we going? If you keep on going with that conversation and you don't know where I'm going, you're gonna end up somewhere you don't know where you. What
and I gotta agree with you with that. If the person that you following behind is not leading you and getting you closer to God, and they got you following them as an idol, that's the wrong person to follow them.
Right.
They should be wanting you to be self-sufficient and teaching you how to depend on yourself.
Now, I agree with that because then we start looking, where do you start questioning when it doesn't look right? At the end of the day, if you don't say nothing, if you know that something is not right and you keep following it, does that not mean that you agree with it?
That go back to the morals, what you said.
Exactly.
Morally. So, where are our morals at?
Right.
And I don't believe in the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
It's just evil.
I hate that.
Evil.
I hate hearing that.
So I'm saying, you telling me if I either got the option to murder or I have the option to say yes and somebody sacrifice, I'm not picking neither one. I just gotta go. It's just time for my transition. You know, whether that means torture to me or whatever that is. I believe at this point sitting here that I have enough integrity within myself to deal with whatever the consequences is, not to put something else on somebody else.
Yeah. And it's only one world where they make it okay for the lesser of two evils, and that's Satan's world. That's hell.
Yeah.
And that's what we're living in right now. We're trying to get to heaven, but on a physical form, like physically, while we still living, and we can, because they've been having heaven. The rich people have, and not just because they got money, but because they have freedom to do as they please.
So that's one thing, and I totally agree with everything you're talking about. So I believe in that so much that I'm willing to go get it, without hurting anybody, without taking from anybody. I'm willing to go get it though. From here and there, I'm willing to take it and take that path. That's why now I'm owning things that I haven't owned before. Well, I took that next step to owning my house. You know, black man owning land.
Congratulations, yeah.
I appreciate it. But that's why I'm taking those, because the mindset at first was to let me save up, let me get in this apartment and all. And I'm like, well, really? I can actually own a house. Right now, what am I holding myself back for? Because I was conditioned to get into these apartments.
Yeah.
You know, rent. Instead of own. Let me own a house.
And
let me
they
own
make
a
it harder
car.
to own too right now.
You're right, because let me tell you something, I went through some hoops and some loops to be able to get where I'm at now. But the thing about it is perseverance. Go ahead.
No, ownership, you also have to go through understanding the levels of it, because you have different laws that we are under. We have admiralty law, we have universal law, and we have the law of the land, and we have natural law.
Yeah.
So, and corporate law. So we live under corporate law when it comes to the corporation of the country that we're under. Yeah. But the universal law says that there are certain things that are inalienable to us. But if we align with corporate law and not get back our natural law or our universal law, then we stuck. Because even though you have a home, even though we have vehicles, even though we have those titles don't belong to us.
Right.
Yeah.
They are titles that belong to something else. And until you know how to properly release yourself from those things, then we're leasing.
Yeah.
Because when you transition, do your children or your family get that without argument?
Yeah.
Even if you pay it off.
Yeah.
So it's so many things, and that's, I think, is the biggest game. It's because I'm going through some kind of transition of information and stuff like that, to where my fundamental beliefs have been challenged in the last 4 or 5 months. You know, there's a statement said, "As above, so below."
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I say, as above, it's all below. So if I'm telling you something, and I'm giving you this idea of a reflection. And I say, hey, y'all look up because it's about to come out the sky. You're going to see all these different things coming out the sky, blah, 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 blah. And y'all looking up. Then what I get to do, I get to go where we're standing, where you know where the solid ground is. And under your feet, I create a situation. Why are people building $100 million bunkers?
Right.
They know something coming.
Look, so we come into a so-called knowledge to where the moon situation wasn't even real. They're coming out with a movie, saying it was staged,
and they put truth in the movies too. Yeah, they put some more truths in there.
As above, didn't even happen in that situation, based on what this movie's supposed to be saying.
Right,
and then after that, after the so-called moon situation, technology went. In the last 75 years, the information and the technology and the advancement has outdone anything in the whole understanding of human existence.
Right.
The last 100 years.
Right. So
the last is over 100 million people, possibly. 100 million people, supposedly 100 billion. I can't remember the number, but a whole bunch of people that lived and died and transitioned on this planet since its known existence.
Yeah.
And since that 100 million people, saying that, using that as a number, have gone, the last 100 years of that, the information knowledge has golfed anything anybody could ever come up with.
Yeah.
Make that make sense.
Right. Now, which is crazy. And while doing research, I started to see that you'll start seeing everything that we saw in the movies way back then is starting to come to pass now, right? We're just getting a little bit more and more into it. And it's like, why? Why are the things that we've seen in these movies that we just can't do every day? Why is it starting to come now? But the thing about it seems like it's getting a little bit quicker and quicker. And, we're starting to get a little bit more and more. That
kind of, are you getting along the lines how they say the Simpsons predict the future a little bit?
How can you predict? Now, did they predict the future or did they create that future?
Well, like, for instance, how they had Trump coming down the stairs. It's you ever play chess? Mm-hmm. It's a chess game. They put pieces in place for stuff to happen.
Yeah.
So, do they predict the future? Or do they just walk into it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Do they set pieces in place and then just walk into it?
And that's the question that I want to say, because if we are, continue to play chess, if I set these moves up, I know exactly where you have to go. Mm-hmm. Where you have to go. And if I, it's just for the chess players, you know what I'm saying. Yep. We're not playing checkers where you're just moving or whatnot. You're just hoping that it all works out in the end. What we're talking about is setting calculated moves.
And that go back to what he said about distractions. If he got everybody looking up,
I can do all.
He doing all this around.
Look up there.
He got everybody
in his pockets right now.
That's my wallet. He got everybody.
Get your hand out my pocket.
Why was I about to say that?
He got everybody looking. We got everybody looking at Diddy,
right?
But we don't see other stuff going on right now. And they making Diddy to be the main center for all black men that's done something wrong to women.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to talk about black representation, right? Because then it's like we go into that and we start looking at why are they putting this man and making it seem like we're all doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like one person does, situation. Oh, that's how they are. That's what they do. But then what about when we're doing great? Why isn't that talked about as much as these negative things, these negative outlets?
Negative sales.
Why is it a joke that Terrence Howard is really like the real deal Iron Man? Why aren't we talking about that more than anything else? We're supposed to be like, I knew it.
Even Cat Williams, how he said when he was younger, how he read over thousands of books. Why nobody believed that?
He said 3,000.
3,000. I know it was somewhere in the thousands.
It was a number that you had to really think about. Like, are you serious? I believe you, but are you serious?
If you think about it, that brother's pretty smart.
Right. Especially what he had, like 100 and something, what was it, 160 something IQ?
And what was everybody saying that he was on drugs and stuff like that?
Why do we got to be on drugs to be naturally great?
We don't.
We don't.
We don't.
I mean, think about some stuff that you just know automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that you know automatically.
It's in your DNA.
It's in your DNA. You ain't even got to train as much as the others.
So for me, the way that I'm thinking in my mind, I've been thinking like this since I was 14.
Woo.
But the programming that I had, the religious programming, the community program, it was always something that I pushed aside because it was weirdo type stuff.
Yeah.
To even think, because imagine if you have a thought process beyond what everybody else around you believes. Like you don't look at creation or God or things the same way, and you like looking at it. That's a scary space to be.
Yeah.
But going back to the representation, Kanye West or Yeezy, he stated like when black men get pulled over, everybody goes to jail. But and if a black man is successful, only he's successful. And he used it on a different community. He said, like, if that one person in that community is successful, everybody's successful.
Right. Let's say what it is.
But if that one person does something wrong, only that one person goes to jail.
If people that look like this, if they look like that and they're doing something, great, then, oh yeah, we're all doing good. We're all doing. When people that look like this does something great, he did it by himself with no help and didn't need nobody else. That's and that is a problem.
That's a
because
program.
When you win, we all win. And I do got that mentality though, because I do know that I'm automatically representing other folks. I know that. I know that whether I want to or not, I do represent, because we are judged harshly. You know what I'm saying? We are represented horribly. And people benefit and make money off of our demise. And that's the issue. And that's why y'all starting to notice more and more what's happening with this shift of representation now. Because now we get, if it didn't matter about representation, why does white Jesus, why is that an issue? Why is that an issue? Why do it have to be white?
And that question, the color only matter when we say Jesus is black. When they say, well, color doesn't matter. Well,
Jesus was black though. Well, how could he had been when the hair, it was wool, wasn't it? It was bronze and
and you have black people that say it doesn't matter too, but that's from programming. They being taught by their grandmothers and grandfathers.
Hold on, let me say this real quick.
Yep.
Keep that in mind. What you about to say? And you said taught by grandmother, but I do want to say this though. This is how we know that it is programmed. One time I shared a post of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and people were saying amen. Why are you saying amen? Because they were saying like it was Jesus. Come on now.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
So if I was to tell a story,
white man with a beard. That's all it was. White man beard and then hell.
Gotcha. It's like, couldn't figure out if it was Santa Claus or Jesus. So if I was to tell a story about either one of y'all, and I used the Asian guy for you, and I used the Samoan for you, would it be a truthful story?
No.
No.
So if we religiously tell the most important story of our soul, and the image of it is not correct, is the truth being told?
No.
So why do we accept it?
It's a good question.
What I'm saying.
And then on top of that, if we understand and we know as we get knowledge that Jesus is a fallacy in the name, it's Yahshua, and God is not the name, is Yahuwah.
Yeah.
Why do we accept it?
We accept it because we're still thinking of heaven and hell as something that we experience after we die. not as a
state of being.
But,
Not-
but hold
hold on, wait,
No,
hold
you
on.
brought hell into it.
But hold on, wait. Let me bring it full circle.
Go ahead, let's get it.
And with that being said, we still look at Jesus as somebody that's gonna come out of the sky and fix all our problems, versus us fixing all our problems here. When I look at you, I'm looking at God. When I look at you, I'm looking at God. When you need help, if you stuck in the wild somewhere, nobody else around, how you gonna get out? How you gonna get out?
Man, I gotta get up out of there.
That's God with you.
Exactly.
That's the God in you coming out to get you out of that situation.
That's right.
But we think, black people as a whole think that we're still waiting for Jesus. Our grandparents was waiting for Jesus to come.
Where he coming?
The Jesus from 2,000 years ago was not coming to help us now. He had his time. He served his time then. And he's fighting the same people that are running our world now. The satanic Jews. There's righteous Jews, but then there's satanic ones too.
Allegedly. The views and opinions.
Allegedly.
Hakim Gillard.
So with that, and I'm with you, and you should be able to without any
Right.
type of anything.
But that's why I
Have
clarified
your
it.
opinion.
Because it's good and bad in all people.
Exactly.
You got good and bad.
But you hear what he said. We should be able to state our views and opinion, but it comes with backlash.
Yeah.
And
People are delicate nowadays.
No,
People
it
are
ain't delicate. It's law. It's by sanction. It's like you're getting castrated without the castration. In the physical form.
And
so what I was gonna say. So for me, you think about the Catholicism, and then the Constantinople era, the Council of Nicaea. Y'all familiar with those things? So those eras and times, they were collectively bringing in all types of Gnostic and spiritualistic and all types of different viewpoints in order to run government. So the calendars were being changed, the times were being changed, the days and dates for certain things, like all the things that we know as our week and stuff. Those are all things that are pagan thought processes.
Yeah,
dealing with astrology, astronomy, and all that stuff. But we still accept it as if there was not other information.
exactly.
So all I'm saying is that why are we just accepting all of this stuff just because somebody told us, when the information goes deeper than that? When hell was a construct that was created by the Catholic Church under a certain time period.
Yep.
When we look at the older versions of the information, knowing that in Aramaic and Hebrew that the Yahshua and Yahuwah are the most original names that we understand.
Yeah.
Why do we still run into this system? And then if someone like myself say this, now I become a heretic for asking questions.
Yeah, you crazy, and you don't believe in what we believe in. That's not how it should be, anyways.
I might believe in it more than you do because I believe in getting the truth. Because
exactly.
when you look at the book, it says the truth shall
set you free.
The truth shall
set you
the
truth. That's it, the truth.
And then we have to ask, what does it mean to be free?
Right. You know what? I like that too. What does it mean?
What does it mean to be free?
And then what people don't understand is it's a state of mind and also a state of being to be free. You know what I'm saying? Us as people. You're supposed to be free all in here. You know what I mean? Because we can be out here all day. Why do you think people go crazy?
Yeah.
Some people know a little bit too much though too. They learned a little bit too much, and it became depressive. Is that they started to see people for who they really were. You're sheeple walking around. These are people who have a sheep's mentality to get herded and to go in a direction. Now, I don't want to go where you're going, so I want to turn back because I learned something this way that shows me I don't have to go the way that you all are going.
Right.
But then you get condemned as a people, or as a person. I know we done all been there where we done said something different than everybody, and they looked at you like, "What? You tripping, bro?
Yeah."
You smoking and been drinking something.
We in the age now where we really pick up on frequencies now, and so you can tell where. I mean, my dad talked about this today. You can tell when it's somebody that's not gonna grasp what you're saying, so you might just be quiet. And there's nothing wrong with being quiet sometimes. And it's not that you fear being cast it out, but that person is not ready to grasp what you said. Like when you said how when you were you were 14 and you knew certain things about God, but because of like your religion at the time, like God and the universe gonna reveal stuff to you when it's time.
Yeah.
We all have a certain time where what we thinking on the inside is gonna be revealed, and we gonna know exactly what it means and know exactly who we are and what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Everybody here on the planet right now at this time is meant to be here for a reason.
Exactly.
Diddy, sorry going through it. Did he? But he's going through this for a reason.
Exactly.
And allegedly did he? But we are watching this. We're watching them castrate him in the news for a reason, and it's teaching us black people to have a little bit more grace with each other.
Man,
and it's nothing wrong with being against. Like I said, we're not condoning what he did, if he did it or not. We don't know if he did it or not.
You don't ever condone,
but
negative
that's
things.
Like if you my brother, you my real brother, like we same mom, same dad, and you did something in the public. I'm not gonna jump on you in the public. I'm wait till we get home. Like, bro, what was you doing, man?
Yeah, exactly.
So why do we have to do it in the public, like on Facebook? Oh, he did this, he did that. Why we got to jump down each other?
Let me piggyback off of that because of this much. Why do people love to be sheeple? They want to hop in what everybody else is doing. Now, you notice what we didn't do is just talk down and punch down on Diddy. That's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
We don't got to do that. But what we're going to do is give a different way of thinking to the situation. Just think about it a little bit different. We're not just focusing on him. Let's go behind the curtains and talk about the ones.
The action.
Look
at the action, not
what
the
did he
person.
learn? Who taught him this? Because he didn't just understand. Mentorship. Somebody had to teach him how to do what he did. Who taught him though?
It's levels.
And if that's not the first one,
levels.
It's gonna be another Diddy though. People don't understand that though. You're right. It's
like
levels
the cartel. It does. How many people have gone to prison because of for contraband?
Yeah.
When does the drug industry stop? It never stops because there's levels to it, and and it's the same construct because we live in a certain system that has a certain. We're in a certain simulation.
Yeah.
And that programming is not changing until certain things change.
Right.
So with that, he's not the first. He's not the last. We have others been said, but regardless of anything, the black man keeps getting the blunt of these issues like we weren't taught this stuff.
And you know how to stop it? If we just be quiet.
Or and I get you, being quiet is one thing, or get out of that system. I don't
really.
You need me for music.
Yeah.
You need me for sports.
Yeah.
You need me for these things. So look, I don't even want to play with y'all or y'all contracts or y'all nothing y'all doing. Don't even come to my neighborhood. Oh, you want to destroy everything? You can't destroy what I don't allow you to destroy.
Yeah, when I say
because you ain't built like us. Kendrick Lamar, you not like us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I say be quiet, I mean people that's watching, his fans. Let's be quiet. Let's reserve. Why don't we reserve our opinion until all the facts come out? We never wait till all the facts come out.
Because then we become like the people who put us in that mindset in the first place. We start doing exactly what they would do. Because of what you look like, you're automatically guilty.
And this is going to be controversial too. The other part of it is I've been struggling real heavy with the white-black thing. Just culture, just ethnicities.
Yeah.
Because that's also a created construct. White and black didn't exist until like within the last 400 years or so.
Right.
Or 500 years. So with that, it's an elitist thought process that is to help segregate more so than it is to get the collective unit to figure out how we fix all of the stuff that we all got to live on. So it's very difficult because of our climate to know. Like how Muhammad Ali says, like if I got 10,000 snakes and they come into my door and it's 10 of them that want to save me, why am I going to wait for them to come in and not just close the door and nobody can get in?
He was exactly. And finishing out that, he said, I'm not going to expect that these good snakes to form a circle around me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm going to close the door on all of them.
On all of them.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. Now,
but while I was saying with that is that, yes, but we have to go deeper into the information in order to take out the whole construct of the thought on why we even became snakes towards each other.
Right. You're absolutely right.
And because the only way we can fix it is if we dive deep into it. And the easiest way to put it and to kind of brush it off is just say slavery. But what did they do to us during slavery?
Yeah.
You know, and really more so now, what are we doing to ourselves with rap music?
Yeah.
Entertainment, how we talk to each other.
Black representation.
If we get back to just treating each other the way we want to be treated,
right,
everything will start to fix each other.
Right.
But then how do you want to be treated? A lot of people don't know how they want to be treated nowadays. And you see that from the people they have around them. They have shitty people around them. Excuse my French.
No, man, go ahead. Shitty, all that. So let's think about this, right? So when we going back into black representation, we talked about Jesus, which is the most powerful painting and image of them all, right? That everybody is so controversial, but it'd be simple stuff like this that I always talk about as well. If it didn't matter, what about stuff like Superman, right? Why are when we start talking about a black Superman, we get so much bash and hate when they're talking about a black man in the first place? Where do you get the energy from? The sun.
Sun, yeah.
When we know, and scientific and naturally, it burns the skin of, our counterparts, right? But we absorb it. That's what our skin does. A strong person, we know that we're naturally and built with strength. And yet, they made him into, the strongest man in the world. Why? How come it isn't just, if they know that black people run super fast, who's the fastest, one of the fastest people in the world?
What's his name?
Usain
Bolt. Yep.
Okay, right. So one of the smartest people, you can go all the way to where Africa to find one of the smartest people. Where's one of the dumbest people at though too? In Africa too, right?
Yeah.
Where's one of the tallest people in the world? Africa.
We are the originators.
Of everything.
Everything.
What? Okay, so
and it didn't just start in Egypt.
And it didn't just start in Egypt. So when we look at these things or whatnot, representation actually does matter. That why. You got to start thinking. We got to change that systematic approach to it. What everybody else is doing, that sheeple approach to it, or everybody else is doing just because they say that's what it is. Like where you were going with it though too, which is, hey, just because y'all all doing it don't mean we got to do it. Right. We don't do. It ain't just what it is because you said it is what it is.
And I want to say too, when we talk about black people being the original, we're not saying that to put anybody else down.
Let's put that out there. Yep.
We have to get to the truth, because only way we gonna fix the world is if everything gets set into motion. You see the movies all the time where you have people that come and run something, and the original people are like, look at the movie The Avatar.
Yeah.
The one with the blue people.
Yeah.
You got people that's coming to their planet trying to take it over, and they steady trying to rise up. And once they rise up, the nature, everything gets put into balance.
Right.
If we could really understand who we are as a people and what we've accomplished years and years before this world came into place, everything will start to get back better the way it need to be.
Right.
I have a theory on why it's such dissension amongst the cultures, and I know it takes a lot more than what I'm saying, but you remember we were speaking earlier about Mr. One Last Cry, and how allegedly the statement of he doesn't deal with a certain group of his children because they were out of a wedlock.
So we're going into black and relationships.
No, I'm going into race relationships and the original on why. So imagine how any children would feel towards their parents if they just like disown them completely.
Ooh.
So imagine you have a mixed group of children, and then like you little too light. I don't even know, woman, where you been? We the only two people on the planet. What you mean where I've been? Just using this, I know it's more deeper than science and everything. History is deeper.
I'm with you.
But it's using as a surface conversation.
Yeah.
And the dad's like, all right, that's not mine. That what you was over there with the baboon. What you doing? I ain't doing nothing, Adam. What you talking about? Well, Eve, that ain't my child. You could send them somewhere else because look, we look like the night sky, Eve. What are you talking about? And they look like clouds. So you send off these cloud children somewhere, and they like, our daddy don't even love us.
Yeah.
So now for thousands of years, millions of years, they're like, look, we gonna come back. We coming back. Look, but we can't run as fast as them. We ain't even as strong as them. Look, we can't even see halfway good as they do. I'm telling you, we gonna come back. Yeah. It's cold in this cave. I'm ready to go home. We ain't got no home. Daddy don't even love us no more. You know, kind of using it.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then now they get in position like, we got y'all now. Let me see what you got to say. We burnt everything down. You ain't got no information. At least get it from us. Nothing. I don't care. Yeah, you strong. Yeah, well, you work for me. I can't even dribble. You shut up and dribble. You know, all this different stuff. Like, how you gonna get it? Look, we ain't even from that land. We gonna take it from you and say we that. We Ashkenazi. All that other stuff. You know, all it just stuff like that. It's how I think. Like, because everything else, even though it's all this information, it just don't make no sense. Why people hate a certain people so much,
right? To
where everything that they do, everything, you gotta just crush it down to nothing. Like, what did the melanated people do so bad to other folk? It's that much hate.
It's a mindset. Now, if you still racist today, like you just stupid. Like, it's so many. I see so many biracial kids with their grandparents now, with white grandparents. Like,
they be dark.
You don't have no room to be racist now. Like,
I got an answer for that one too.
Go ahead.
Remember, this is all allegedly, and it's a skit. This is under comedy. What's it called? Sarcasm.
Yeah.
Not sarcasm, but
satire.
Satire. Yeah. It's under satire. This is all satire. So it's just a view of what I say. So okay, going back to, hey, look, what are you talking about? We can't. How are we going to reproduce? We're going to reproduce, but look, we're not going to be here anymore. I got it under control. Watch this. We're going to create a system. And that system is going to be so dominant that it doesn't matter what anybody remembers, because they're only going to know what we want them to know.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. And then we're going to have a caste system. What's a caste system? Like, look at this paper bag. A paper bag? Why don't look at that? If you're any darker than this paper bag, you don't fit in this system. So as long as we can scientifically create something that can stay within this realm and survive for thousands of years, then we're good. You've planned all this out, haven't you? Yes, it's called eugenics.
Ooh.
Tune in next week.
Look at that. Hey, I love this, man. I love stuff like this, because then we start thinking about things that, you know, that holds weight. Because who's to say everything that you didn't say, which is, you know, to other people, it's not backed by anything scientific or anything natural, or it's allegedly that satire, right? But I ain't gonna even say but, because I don't want to take away anything. And we can move forward understanding this much though, right? If we come together as a collective mind, and now that we understand what we see, which would be the Matrix, like he was saying, we've seen the Matrix, and we say that we want to get jacked out. It's time to get up out of there, right? How did that look? It started to say, I don't just believe what they told me. I want to start looking more. They keep telling me to look left. This time I'm going to look right.
It starts with what we're doing here.
And we're talking
free thinking.
Free thinking.
We trying to free minds. If we just free one person, that's all. That one person, go free somebody else and repeat the process.
Repeat the process.
And the beauty about a conversation like this, there's no stereotype in it.
No.
Yeah.
So you know how as black men we're stereotyped? Or even while we were in high school, if you weren't in this group, you just didn't fit in.
Yeah. Right.
So, like, this is a weird conversation. And I mean, all this stuff is weirdo stuff. If you somewhere in a stereotypical thought process, what you talking about? You know, or it wouldn't be accepted because, like, where the money at? You know, or you ain't got no girls over there, so why you talking about that stuff? It doesn't fit into that narrative.
Yeah.
It does. And because of this, and I done put it out now, so now I got to put my timer on and keep running and changing the time loop so they don't get me. I'm joking. That's satire though. So it's just one of those things that we have to keep a open mind to saying that it doesn't matter how much different you think from me, as long as you can come to a point that you can prove and open up something historical or ancient, or have knowledge that was auditorily passed along that we can match it. And then if that stuff doesn't make sense, we got to figure out spiritually what we need to do within to get the answers without.
Exactly. What does and is basically what does make sense. It's really make it make sense. If we can make it make sense, then we're good. If it don't make sense, let's figure out until it makes sense. Even if that means, let's look at the Matrix for example though too. Let's keep with that. Is that it's all a cycle. It's the same thing going over and over again, the same exact stuff. Eventually, variables got to change a little bit because this is a system, right? So instead of us going 0001, we're gonna go 000012 000012 and eventually, if we keep going, it's going to all equal out to what it's supposed to be. So we'll have a perfectly generated system.
Now remember, and I'm gonna stop.
Go ahead.
Now remember, I asked you before we got here if you want me to be a part of this. So you keep saying the Matrix. Do y'all know the history of the Matrix?
Oh yeah,
Who
black
wrote
woman that wrote it.
I need somebody to pull up their phone so whoever watched this in the future can know who really truly wrote the Matrix and the Terminator.
It was a black woman.
We need to know her name.
The Matrix and the Terminator.
I said
Yeah.
So
Because I think the Terminator is the prequel to the Matrix. I think that's how she wrote it. Because the Neo figure is supposed to represent Jesus,
the Christ-like consciousness.
Yep.
So
John Connor, JC, Jesus Christ. See? Yep.
So, but it needs to be known. And look, if anybody knows how to get in touch with her to get her on Out of the Mud entertainment platform, so we can interview her and give her flowers, then I would love to do that so she can break that down like a Kevin Tambell song.
And I want to say this too, to bring it full circle, to bring it to what we were talking about.
Her name was Sophia Stewart.
Sophia Stewart.
Her name is.
She's still living. Yep. She's
still
still living. Yep.
Her name is with a big I and a big S because she did this and she broke it all down what it all was for. So what she says goes, and while she wrote it, nobody else can make it. Nobody can make it into anything else except for what she said that it stood for. So the Matrix being the what was it, the future, and then the Terminator being the past. It's crazy because they said they kept coming from the future, which is the Matrix, to go back in the past and try to eliminate John Connor, JC, Jesus Christ.
Before he was born.
Before he was born.
And then I'm going to be quiet on this. So, and think about, you brought up Terrence Howard.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't fit any of the narrative of being a genius. No. He one of them light-skinned pretty boys that all he's supposed to do is say your role. Shut up and speak. Say your role. Be a thespian. Be a good thespian. But this dude then came out and broke out the whole tree of life, flower of life on him. And he's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And nobody was listening, saying he's a crazy light-skinned dude. But now.
And I want to say something, and this might lead to another conversation, but what he did and what Cat Williams did completely changed the narrative that we shouldn't be looking at rappers and entertainers as leaders.
We're not supposed to.
Period.
We're not supposed to.
They changed that. They changed that narrative.
And I love it.
So whatever narrative that society puts on us, we keep changing, we keep breaking down those doors. And I wanted to touch on what you said about the Matrix. The only way you're going to know that you've been in the box is if you step out of it.
Woo! And
what you said about the variables changing, if you watched all the Matrix movies, right? Even the last one, which wasn't good, Resurrections. They all, like, if you watch Reloaded, when he met the architect, he was supposed to go through a certain door to go back to the Machine City,
exactly,
to pick, I think it was 5 or 6 people to restart the cycle all over again, because he was the 6th Neo that's been through the Matrix cycle already. So, but he chose something else, and that's why I said this brings us full circle to what we talked about earlier.
Wait a minute, he might have been a 7 because that was the completion. That was when he did something different.
I think he might have been 6 or 7.
They all did the same thing over and over and over again.
What he did different was he chose love. He chose Trinity, and that he chose unconditional love, and that was something that the machines hadn't seen before.
Yeah,
and that. To me, that made me bring it full circle to what we talked about earlier about black love.
Yeah, yep. Keep on.
Go ahead.
Keep on going.
Go ahead. It's your show, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just I'm geeking up because. Go ahead.
But if you, like I said, he had a chance to to restart it. And it just would have put them back in the same cycle.
Over.
And then the next person might not have made the same decision. It might have been a different outcome. But then you saw in Resurrections, they was back in the Matrix again, a different outcome now. But still, in Resurrections, what happened with him and Trinity, Neo and Trinity, they found out how much energy they produce just by them being close to each other but not touching.
Yeah.
So this brings us to the black man and black woman in our country, the black family. We realize how much potential they have if we keep them so close but don't let them get close to touch and be together. That's why they doing things to divide us. That's why Diddy is the main topic now, because he's taking the blame for everything that a black dude has done wrong to a woman right now. He's beat his women. They've accused him of killing somebody. Really, they still mad at the dudes. They think he has something to do with Biggie. That's really why they mad at him. They've been mad at him for 30 years, man.
You know what they hate? they hate this. They hate that.
Yeah.
They hate that. Y'all see that?
That energy. Yeah.
They hate that.
The unity.
So, one thing, they not like us, right? So when you're speaking about this, and you notice that even with the machines, which we know who the machines represented, right? They wanted us to be like them, because if you notice, Neo was becoming more like a machine. Mm-hmm. His emotions started changing.
That's how he got the gold code. He started seeing everything in gold. And I want to say too, when we say they versus us, we're not saying black and white. We talking about righteous and unrighteous.
There you go.
That's what we talking about.
That's all it is. They versus us.
Yep. The people
they're not like us, because of us can look all different shapes, sizes, colors.
You got righteous black people, white people, Indian people, Jewish people, Mexican people. You got righteous people in every walks of life. We dealing with righteousness and unrighteousness. Right. The truth versus lies.
So as we get closer and closer to the end of here, right? I want to say this. That
hold on, you ain't gotta stop until you gotta stop, because look, I'm here. I'll be here. So yeah.
So when we start looking at the love does surpass each and every single flaw, right? Like you said, that unconditional love.
Unconditional.
So we should be able to love each other through our mistakes. I can't fault you for what you don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't fault not one person for what they don't know. It's sad that what you don't know can possibly get you in a predicament that you don't need to be in. It can get you killed, right? Mm-hmm. But if I can help you and give you an option, meaning I gave you something that you didn't have before out of love, because out of love, I want to give you a brain. Mm-hmm. I want to give you more of a free thinking mind and tell you that you don't got to do what everybody else is doing. Just because you ain't had it all back in the day don't mean you got to buy $400 Mary jeans or whatever, all of that. Just because you didn't have it, why waste all of your money when you can do something to actually benefit yourself and your family, right? You don't got to go out and do everybody's drinking and smoking. You got to do that just because everybody gathering just to shake some ass, and you thinking, oh, I got to do that just because they are doing that, or half naked. And we got to mess around with everybody's messing with everybody, right? But instead to say that you can settle down, you can use your mind a little bit more. Yeah. You can read, you can create a business. You can, go out and use your talents to uplift people versus destroy them. You can use your influence, your powerful influence, to uplift those in need. Mm-hmm. When you see something that's morally wrong, naturally wrong, spiritually wrong, and you defend it, you defend those who need you. You can do that without being afraid and say, oh, well, other people might look at me and say that I'm a Captain Save-A-Hope, or
I want to say my wife taught me something she doesn't really think she taught me. She don't realize it. About being more intentional with our lives. How you said, instead of being more just reckless, just doing stuff just to do it, self-love is the first love. We have to have some type of love for ourselves, and that comes from what we eat, what we drink, what we think, the music we listen to, what we watch, everything we devour. And if we have self-love, then we'll project love out. We'll have that unconditional love. Right. And I guess my question is, how do we get to that unconditional love?
And what we've been saying this whole entire time. That free way of thinking. Not being conditioned to say, just because you messed up, I gotta hate you.
Yeah.
Just because you did something that you didn't know was wrong.
Grace.
I got it. Yeah, exactly. That grace and mercy. Because sometimes it's good to use grace, and sometimes it's good to use mercy, and you use it as if it was you.
Yep. And I bring it back to this. God, I think we're a little bit harder on ourselves than God is.
Oh yeah, facts.
Because if he was hard on us like we are, it wouldn't be nobody left here. Because we all done sinned and we all done did something wrong. Right. But he's given us grace and given us time to correct ourselves. And now is the time to do that, because we see the world is getting a lot colder. I see people, do security right over at the farmer's market. I deal with people that's addicts, that's addicted to drugs, alcohol, all type of things, mental issues. And you learn to have some empathy for people. Yeah. And learn that these people are still human beings. They're going through things. At the same time, I still got to do my job as security. Right. But I do it with compassion, knowing that
there you go.
That you're dealing with something outside of yourself. Even if you did this to yourself by going to that thing, it's still an outside force doing this to you. Yeah. And it's something that's out of your control. Right. And like I said, I think if we, as people, whether you black, white, whatever, it don't matter, have more patience with people, more grace. I know that's my testimony from my life, you know, from the things I've been through in relationships and everyday life, is having more grace and being understanding. Because, like I said, we all see what's going on around the world. Right. All these things not happening just coincidentally. I don't believe in coincidence. We believe in God. Everything happens for a reason. Right. The war is going on now. It's that time in the world. Yeah. Where you have these wars going on and they spread, and then one world goes out, another one comes in. It's the cycle. And people thinking what's happening over there in Gaza can't happen here. They crazy. Oh yeah. They already planning it. Exactly. They already planning it.
And now it's time to bring people back into a place where we need to be. A place where we have, more heart, not just for ourselves, but more heart for,
humanity.
Humanity. Everybody, whether they're good, whether they're bad, people can change. We got to just have that heart to know that we were once them and could be them again.
And excuse my French, but I don't really like to cuss on camera and stuff. But
fuck that shit.
But be able to tell somebody when they full of shit. Yeah. And they're asshole. Because we have a lot of them, that are running, that are in power, that are getting away with things and think they're going to keep getting away with them, and that God is not just. No, that's right. That's not.
Now, we were talking about Terrence Howard, right? Now, this is the how genius Terrence Howard is, right? Terrence Howard invented augmented and virtual reality technology. Why don't we talk enough about that, right? He owned the Patient City by 31. Oh, the patent. Oh, yeah. The Patent City. See, that's what I'm talking about. Got my back.
There we go.
The Patent City. And I got glasses. The Patent City by 31 companies that develop AR/VR technology such as Microsoft, Amazon, HP, IBM, Sony, and GoPro, amongst others that we ain't even talked about yet. So if this man, right, why don't we talk enough about this? Why?
If he wasn't Terrence Howard,
allegedly, just in case it come out that they doing a movie trailer.
If he wasn't Terrence
allegedly,
Howard,
just in case,
if he wasn't Terrence Howard the entertainer, would we still believe him? I think they would. They would. They would. Look at the brother that he dead now.
Who's
they
that?
Probably killed. Remember the brother that he invented? He was creating the engine that ran on water.
Oh yeah, yep. There's another brother that's doing that too.
You talking about the black guy?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He passed.
He being
the one that was doing it in the truck, making the truck.
So I don't really think they passed. I think they have some help.
I'm trying to be politically
right. That's why I said that. Yeah.
But so he just got unalived. Yeah. Rather naturally,
but the white guy that they claimed did it like 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the restaurant with his brother, and they poisoned him. He said they trying to kill me. So you saying the dude just recently?
Oh, that's
during COVID,
this was. Let me
guy
see.
during COVID.
Maybe like 3-4 years ago. Yeah,
because it was a black guy during COVID that was.
Yep, you saw the video too.
He gone?
Yeah, he gone.
It actually showed like, hey, it works, y'all, and test
Now,
and boom.
so if we say that they might have offed them, that wouldn't be too far fetched because we know how big the oil industry is.
Yeah,
and we see these movies, these mafia movies they put out when they have interest. You doing this, you gonna mess up my business? No, I'm finna come. Allegedly,
but I'm with you. But see, to me, if that's how they work, they're idiots, in my opinion.
No, they're not, because they're getting away with it.
Because if you're gonna get rid of the inventor, you can't scrub the internet.
Oh yeah,
you can't scrub the information. It's still here now.
Distractions though,
and the thing about fear. I don't. That's the only thing I'm afraid of is fear. I hate fear. So if you put me in a situation where I'm in fear, I'm going to destroy you.
Can I say this? You remember in slavery, to instill fear in one slave, they would beat the other slave so bad.
Yeah.
So I would be the slave to try to figure out how to get out of that.
They make examples out of, and I'm like I said, I'm not talking black and white because they do this to everybody now. But when they want to make an example out of somebody and teach and instill fear in the next person, they'll whip you so bad that you don't want to do nothing. They whipping Diddy right now. They whipped Bill Cosby. They whipped R. Kelly. They whipped all these people. So the next one coming out, no, you gonna get in line. You gonna do what we say.
Right.
That's why not Kevin Hart. Cat Williams is not in that line. He's speaking outside of that line.
And I'm with you. So going back to historical roots of it, because you had. It's called the Willie Lynch syndrome. So they had the Willie Lynch letters.
Whip a slave
and beat a slave. So they would say us three.
Yep.
And then
even the police. The police still do it.
Overstood, but yet and still, we have the ability in this time and age to change those narratives because it's called policy. It's called getting amendments to the Constitution. We just don't do it in numbers in order to get people to understand
what you said right there, numbers, and that bring it full circle to what we said.
Right.
Unity. We can't do nothing alone.
Right.
We got to unify.
Doing it because a visual distraction is not a physical distraction.
Yeah. See, we have to stop being divided by religion, who we think the real God is, who we think Jesus is, what color. We got to stop being divided by these little things. Let's get free first, then we'll worry about that. You know, for real. Let's after we get free, we probably won't even worry about who your God is and my God is.
And what does that have to do with comfort? Let's be more religious in our own personal thought process comfortably. Let's comfortably be able to believe what we want to by getting policies changed, getting stuff amended in the Constitution to benefit us. Let's stop. The other thing y'all was talking about, I know I said I wasn't going to say nothing else.
Man, it's too good he had to jump back in.
But the other thing it was saying was like, okay, we are individualized. We are pushed to be individuals. Like, say, for instance, out of all, you got like 82 people in your family. Just brothers and sisters, siblings. Just I don't know how your parents did it, but 82 of y'all.
Yeah.
So they pushing you. They saying, Darell, you're gonna be the one to make it. Not saying that you got 4 whole teams out of that 82 people. They saying that you're gonna push you. And then when you get there, they saying, Darell, why you even mess with you? You know they don't understand culture here. You see how it's different here. We're drinking sparkling water here. You know, y'all still drinking that Flint beacher water. So it's individualized to where you're the only one that's supposed to shine, and you're supposed to come out of that and leave them there because they didn't figure it out. But if they didn't get you to where you were, you wouldn't have figured nothing out.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So I'm like this. There's no way in life when I lived in Atlanta and I had opportunities that I didn't even know existed. When I moved to Atlanta, I thought everybody was selling dope because they was in foreign cars. They was in BMWs and Benzes. And based on how I understood life, when you in Flint in that time and era, you is selling dope,
man.
So, yeah,
that was just that power. I just want to show more of that power.
I thought you were saying shut up. So and I'm giving me like 3 minutes and I'm
go ahead. You got
so that showed me different things about life, gave me a different perspective, opened up my brain, saying, "Oh, everybody don't sell. Everybody black that's young and got some ain't out here hustling."
Yep.
The way that I understand it.
Yeah.
So as that opened, and I had opportunities where people was calling me up, asking me if I can find money on this. This is a story, and I'm gonna end with this. Somebody literally, when I was living in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, called me up and said, "Grundy, can you find somebody that can verify funds for $60 million?" I had maybe $70 total in my life at the time, but I was just out and knew people and was just a part of the universe of Atlanta in the entertainment space. Not major, but just like I just moved different. I moved like Flint. So it took me 3 days. I called my dad, asked him for a phone number. That person called me, and that person lived out in Beecher. That person from Beecher. He called me back. He gave me a phone number to somebody he knew. And 3 days I had the dude, I can't even remember his name. He used to that year he had just bought a casino from Donald Trump. Don Barton. Yeah, Don Barton. He was from Detroit. I got in touch, the people got me in touch with his people. So I did my part, and I had did my part and got what they asked for. But that whole experience showed me that once I fast forward and I moved back to Flint, that if I did it there, I could do it here. So I tried to do it here. There's this place called Silver Star in Battle Creek. It's a apartment complex for veterans, specifically for veterans, and it's built on government property, which is the VA hospital. The guy that did that, put that together, I got in touch with him. And there's a church on Wyoming Street. It's a Church of God in Kojic Church. Church of God in Christ. It used to be an old Catholic church. It's sitting on 15 open acres. We had came to agreement to do that. We was about to get it done. And that's when I learned what politics were. That's when I learned about the hidden hand. That's when I learned about, like, you got to maneuver a little bit differently. You know, and then that's when those little fears and things came. That's when they made the wrong decision to put me in a space of fear, because I'm still here. People told me I was gonna feel my life was threatened. I had all kinds of things to deter me from to continue and trying to do something great. And it wasn't for me, it was for my community. It's for veterans like myself. It was going to be something that was going to bring tens, 20, hundreds of millions of dollars to the community, to the county. Man, and but I'm just saying that when your brain and your mind is expanded to certain things, and you do not shut stuff down, and unity happens, it's impossible to I don't know what I'm saying. I'm shutting up.
No, you're right.
You on the right page.
It's impossible to stop. You know, you can't stop a force like that. Real talk. That's why, hey, keep doing that. For real, man. That's so much power, man. So much power, man.
And what he talked about, land, that's free. Oh yeah, that's being free. Yeah. You know, they might have not gave us 40 acres in the mule, but we take 1.1 acre and a bicycle.
All I know is people gonna be looking at the camera, looking at the thing, like, why they do a whole show just looking at this camera?
Man. But I appreciate you coming on to the show, man. This has been Real Life with Rello Be. You know, my boy right here.
Appreciate you for having me, man. Real good conversation. I hope y'all have me back again, man. I really like the conversation.
Oh yeah, man, most definitely, bro.
We got to get more stuff out there like this. We definitely got to change what's being talked about in the city. You know, it's you see Facebook and you know, Facebook asks a question, what's on your mind, and people are telling what's on their mind, even if they shouldn't share what's on their mind. So we got to come in and change what's on their mind by putting out good content like
good
this.
Content, man. Free thinkers. Shout out to Out of the Mud, George Grundy. Was it the second?
George F. Grundy is the second.
The second, Mr. Second. And then shout out to, you know, this Out of the Mud, James Mayfield. Man, we got
Fli CityBlackout.
Fli CityBlackout. Flint After Dark.
Flint After Dark.
Let's get it, y'all. So it's been Rello Be. It's been
Hakim Gillard.
And it's also been
George F. Grundy II.
And we out here.
Peace, y'all.